Hello, I'm Marcus Boston. Quick educational video today, and we are going to discuss a bad result, and does a bad result automatically mean that medical malpractice occurred? I'm following this video up with another video in which I talk with parents about the medical condition HIE, Hypoxic Ischemic Encephalopathy, which is a brain injury that babies can suffer during labor and delivery in certain situations when there is a reduction in blood and oxygen. And in that video, I went through some of the analysis that we have to do to be able to determine whether the cause of the injury was something that the doctors did, or was it genetic or developmental or some other type of cause. And the reason why I'm talking about this video today is because when individuals contact us, especially if they call us for a general, we call it general medical malpractice issue, a lot of times a bad result has happened. And for the callers, a lot of times, for them, their understanding is that this happened, this was bad, it wasn't supposed to happen, so it must be medical malpractice. And the truth of the matter is that that is not the case, especially under Maryland law. To be able to prove medical malpractice occurred, a bad result is just not enough. You have to be able to get medical experts who will give opinions as to whether there was a departure from the standard of care which caused the injury. So there's a couple of things that are broken down in that last sentence, in that last thing that I just told you, and that is that we've got to first of all determine what was the standard of care. What would a reasonable and prudent doctor have done under the same set of circumstances as your situation? What would a reasonable doctor have done? Not only for the standard of care issue, then we've got to show that if there was a departure from that standard of care, is that what caused the injury or the harm? And I'm gonna use our HIE baby cases as an example. So HIE, as I said earlier, is a brain injury. It is something that can occur during labor and delivery. There can also be some issues during pregnancy, but for our context, it is a reduced or a reduction in blood and oxygen, which can lead to a brain injury. Now, what can cause that reduction in blood and oxygen? Well, you can have birth trauma related things. In other words, the fetal heart monitor is showing that the baby is in fetal distress, and the doctors or nurses, they miss that they miss the fetal distress. They don't diagnose it. They don't do anything to treat it. The baby is going on and on. The baby's fetal reserves are depleted, and the baby is just in pretty bad shape and suffers a brain injury. You can have things like that. But you can also have situations in which the reduction in blood and oxygen is due to a genetic cause. Something genetic is what has caused a reduction in blood and oxygen. Or there is a developmental piece that's there that is causing a reduction in blood and oxygen, which leads to the brain injury. So you have the bad result, which is the brain injury, but for medical malpractice purposes, you've got to be able to show that that bad result was caused by a departure from the standard of care, which is what caused that injury. And remember, I said in the other example, genetics, that can cause the injury. That has nothing to do with a doctor departing from the standard of care in a lot of instances. Developmental issues, that may not have anything to do in some instances with a doctor departing from the standard of care, but those things can cause the injury. So the purpose of today's video is to just help you understand that when you are, or when an attorney is analyzing a medical malpractice case and trying to get answers for you, that just having a bad result is not enough. Standard of care, departure from the standard of care, causing the injury. If you have more questions, maybe you're here today because, like I said, maybe your baby has suffered a brain injury at birth, or you've got a subsequent CP diagnosis and you just want to talk with someone about what may have been the cause of that, there's a telephone number down below. Go ahead and pick up the phone and give me a call. I talk with families about these types of things, HIE, MAS, cerebral palsy, or CP. This is what we do. One more thing, if you contact me regarding a birth-related issue and you are not in the state of Maryland, because I practice law here in the state of Maryland, but I do understand that this video is on the internet. Just understand that if this is something that we think that we can assist you with, that we have to use co-counsel, or in other words, local counsel, an attorney in your state. And that's something that we can help you with. But we just got to make sure that you understand that co-counsel or local counsel aspect of things if you contact us and you are not in Maryland. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth, injury, and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. And we will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.